Okay, this is Drew Belt, and the student that we have here is Joseph Kim, 13-year-old from Evans, Georgia. We're going to take a look at some of the great things that he's been doing in his swing, and you can see how hard he's been working on it. And this is a before view, and then I'll show you an after view and what we worked on during the lesson here. So I'm going to take a look at a couple of items here in his swing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a line on his hips here. I'm going to take a look at his backswing and the movement that he has with his hips here, or the lack thereof. So he swings up to the top. He does a fantastic job of staying within those two red lines here. Okay, and then you can tell is when he gets up to the top, Joe starts to move his hips before his club is getting to the top here, and that's a mark of all the really good players here. So watch the club start to go back, still going back, and now his hips still going back, and now it starts to move forward, and his hips have made a lateral move at the target. Okay, now that is a mark of, like I said, really good players, and Joe's doing a really good job of it. Fantastic job. He generates a lot of club head speed because of that. Now what Joe does through the ball here is he keeps moving his hips laterally, and he turns them too fast, so there's a little bit of a disconnect between his upper body and his lower body. And you can see here how he's out of the way now. His hips are way out of the way, and now his pivot is out over here. His hands are still back in that general area, and so that causes him to have to really flip and catch up to the ball. Okay, so he loses even more speed. He should be hitting a lot farther than what he does. All right, you can see his hips almost stop to get his hands to catch up to the pivot. Okay, now they're finally caught up to the pivot. So they had to make a series of adjustments to catch back up to that pivot. Now, you can see it on the right here. Pretty good positioning on the way back. Love that at the top. Love how his elbow's right on this line here. Club face is perfect. It's just a fantastic job. Now, here it goes on the way down. And the downswing here, his hips are starting to move out so fast. He's not giving his hands time to drop. And now because his hips turned out even faster, the club and the arms are crowded, and they really don't have room to swing through. And you can see that by his angle of his shafted impact. Okay, so what we did with Joe, and again, this is some really good stuff here, but we're going to make Joe a real good player. So let's look at what we changed here. And Joe's now doing a half swing. He's not making a full swing here. You can see by some of his downswing moves here. But let's take a look at some of the changes here. So what I did was we tried to hold the hips on his downswing, feel like he doesn't move his hips out at all. And you can see what that does to the club and his impact position. So right about here, I say, okay, Joe, now you can start to move the hips through. And he does that. So he's going to cock it up, swing it back down to the ball. Now he's in a great strike position there, just fantastic. And he's now able to turn his hips through together. And you can see the difference here on the right, what it does. Swings the club up to the top, swings it down, And right now he's holding his hips, so when he holds his hips back and holds his shoulders back, it allows the club to drop. And you can see how it just works beautifully down the line and through. Take a look at down the line before, just to show you another view of what it looked like before. Hands get high, club has to roll, and there it's rolling through. Now it's on the line, and it works the line beautifully. So big difference there with Joe, and a big difference in the follow through too. Alright, if you'd like to see more, go to drewbelt.com. Great job, Joe.